Welcome to the Shoreline, brought to you by Shores and Islands, Ohio, where finding your Lake Erie love is a sure thing. Thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Jill Bauer, PR Manager for Shores and Islands, Ohio. We bring you the Shoreline every week to give you the inside scoop on what's happening here in our island and coastal communities. Welcome back as we continue through the month of February here on Ohio's North Coast. Well, this week we've got Valentine's and Galentine's events coming up, so be sure to check our event calendar at shoresandislands.com for things to do with your sweetheart or your gal pals. Saturday, you can check out the Queen of Hearts Shop Hop in Helena, which includes Chateau Winery and Vineyard. The 6th annual Valentine's Wine and Chocolate Walk in Marblehead is always a good time. Or you can check out the Winter Open House at the Roger Johnson Nature Center at Osborne Metro Park in Huron. If you're looking for something a little more romantic, you can join our friends at the Wave at Marblehead for their Valentine's Day events. They've got some great food deals in their restaurant and also some lovely overnight packages. Or you can also check out Intonations in Italia with the Fireland Symphony Orchestra on Sunday, which features the romantic vocals of acclaimed tenor Jonathan Kaufman. And before the end of the month, before here we round out February, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the upcoming Burning Snowman Fest. It's going to be back once again, taking place this year on February 28th in Port Clinton. We can kiss this winter weather goodbye with a giant burning snowman effigy and with some great musical entertainment. And you won't want to miss the family freeze to kick it all off on February 27th. And if you love music, February episodes of The Shoreline are brought to you by the Great Lakes Rockabilly Road Trip Music Festival. Looking for a summer getaway with serious style? The Great Lakes Rockabilly Road Trip rolls into downtown Port Clinton on August 1st. One day of live rockabilly music, vintage vibes, and lakeside fun along Lake Erie. Start planning your getaway now at shoresandislands.com and follow the festival on Facebook at Great Lakes Rockabilly. One more upcoming event and a tie-in to today's episode as part of our continuing America 250 Time Traveler History Talks. The Shores and Islands Welcome Center in Sandusky will be welcoming our podcast guest for today, Robert Wheeler of the Edison Birthplace. He will be doing a talk on the Edison family on Tuesday, February 24th at 5:30 p.m. This month's America 250 theme is Innovation and Industry, and Thomas Edison certainly is a great representative of Ohio's role in innovation. Robert Wheeler serves as the president of the Edison Birthplace Association in Milan, Ohio, where he oversees the preservation of the site where Thomas Alva Edison was born. As the great-great-grandnephew of the inventor, Mr. Wheeler offers a unique living connection to American history. He and his wife, Linda, reside on the historic Milan farm owned by Edison's sister, Marion, known as Homer Page Farm, passed down through the generations. A dedicated steward of the family legacy, Wheeler has represented the Edison family at numerous national ceremonies, including accepting a technical Grammy Award on behalf of Thomas Edison in 2010, and at international events in Japan at Milan's sister city, Yawata City in Kyoto. Robert is joining us today to tell us all about the Edison Birthplace and to talk about a special event that they've got coming up. Welcome to the Shoreline, Robert. Thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you, Jill. Pleasure to be here.
Great. So for our listeners who maybe have not experienced the Edison Birthplace, such a meaningful place, why is it such a great place to experience American history in person? And tell us a little bit about the exhibits you have there.
Sure. Well, his father built this house in 1841, and Thomas was the youngest of 7. And 3 of his siblings right before him died early on. They're buried up in Milan Cemetery. And he's raised almost as an only child. The canal's starting to fail in the 1850s. The railroads are starting to come through, so the family moves off the port here in Michigan. But those 7 most formative years are here in Ohio. Those roots of genius are buried deep in Buckeye soil.
Oh, wow. I love that.
Sorry, they're grown deep in Buckeye soil.
I love that. So Thomas was born here and raised for his first 7 years. Tell us how the birthplace got to be open to the public, how it made it through the different generations of family, and then what are the exhibits that people can see if they visit?
Sure. The house was out of the family for about 40 years, and his sister, Marion, his oldest sister, bought it back. She lived here until her death in 1900, and then other family members lived here. His wife and daughter wanted to open it as a monument to the man, not just for what he invented, but to show his background and to serve as an inspiration that great people can come from very humble beginnings. So they opened the museum in 1947 on February 11th, the 100th anniversary of his birth, and we became a full museum in 1952.
You can visit the birthplace, but then there's also some additional building.
Yes, we have an office building that has a number of exhibits here. We still give the same tour that his daughter Madeline gave. So we want to present him as a man. He's a boy. He's a father. He's a son. He has problems just like everyone else. He has financial problems. He struggles. We all do. But he overcomes all of this by never giving up. And so we also give different types of tours. In the fall, after Thanksgiving, there are candlelight tours that require reservations, and these are posted on our website. And this past year, we also, Cindy, our operations director, gave cemetery tours. And it's interesting that 4 of his siblings, the 3 younger ones and his sister Marion, are all buried in the Milan Cemetery. So you got 4 direct Edisons.
I had no idea that they were there. I remember seeing in the fall about the cemetery tours, and those were very popular. I understand they sold out. So I believe people were really interested in that. When they visit the home, is it period appropriate? Is it set up as if it was in 1847?
The house is redone as much as possible to its original state. Most of the furniture is family furniture in there. It's as opposed to just being time period. We have his mother's coverlet, some original furniture. We have a high chair. His daughter said, "I've never saw my father sit in that," but it's old enough to be the one he used. We have his daughter's personal collection of items: Edison talking dolls, Edison mimeographs, Edison chalk receivers, and a couple of years ago, our vice president, Don Gaffel, suddenly passed away, and his family gave the birthplace a number of pieces of his. Don was one of the most avid collectors in the world.
Yeah, he had quite a collection.
Yeah, he certainly did. We have a small fraction of it here, but we have more rare Edisonia. We have phonographs built for the soldiers in World War I, and really great stories on the one that we have here. We have Edison electrifies the home with Edison sandwich makers, Edison coffee pots, Edison baby furniture, light bulbs, phonographs, Edison batteries, quite a wide selection of things. But again, we try to put the personal touch on it. We have his personal notes to his family, one of his notebooks on display. There's a lot here.
Wow. Edison was really known for innovation, for experimentation, for being curious. Tell us again, how many inventions can we attribute to Thomas Edison?
He had 1,093 American patents. He had more in Europe. But besides being the
Wow.
first person to make a practical light bulb, other people knew of incandescence. He doesn't invent the light bulb. He makes a better light bulb, one that really works. He's the first to record sound and play it back. He's the first to record motion on film and play it back. The whole entertainment industry comes from those 2 inventions.
Yeah, absolutely. And the whole entertainment industry today can be watched on your phone. It can be streamed through your television. None of these things would exist without Edison's ingenuity.
He has the first patent in electronics with the Edison effect bulb, where he puts another filament in and you can control the electricity and current like a valve. So old tubes are still known as valves in Europe because you can control the voltage and the current. So
when people come to Milan and visit the birthplace, is there anything that you regularly notice people are surprised by?
How large the house is. It looks like a small 1-story from the front, but it's a 3-story building. You can see it from the back. The breadth of his inventions, the fact that you think of him just as a guy in a white lab coat kind of thing, working by himself. No, he's extremely well read. And one of his greatest contributions is the Edison Invention Factory, where he brings all kinds of people together. Before Edison, people worked on their own or maybe with a partner like Bell and Watson. But Edison brings teams together and to work and solve on problems because it's more than just one person can handle. And all research and development labs spring from his invention factory. He was just, I mean, Edison cement. He does Edison wax paper. He invents what becomes the tattoo gun.
Oh, wow.
He's just all over the map. Some of the projects we've done over the years, we did a Edison coin through the federal government in 2002. It was an Edison silver dollar. And that helped us raise a lot of money. And for that, we brought Mickey Rooney in to help us raise more money. Mickey played young Tom Edison, and
I've seen that movie. Yes.
it's a little Hollywood. There's some made up stuff in it, but
Most of Hollywood is.
yeah. We did a statue in Washington, D.C. to replace William Allen in 2002 or 2001. The federal government said you can replace your statues at Statuary Hall. Every state has 2 statues. And ours was William Allen. He was a Democratic governor, and he was anti-Lincoln, pro-slavery. And we decided that he didn't represent the best of
Wasn't the
Ohio.
best representative of Ohio, right? And how Thomas Edison really is.
They opened it up. We had over 80 contestants, 80 people suggested, from Annie Oakley to the Wright brothers to Jesse Owens. And as I said on a podcast once, I said, all these people have great reasons why they should represent Ohio, but Edison has 1,093 great reasons.
I love it. And you can see in Milan a replica of that statue as well.
It's nearly the same. It's got the original base. The gentleman who made the statues originally wanted the base to be a Buckeye at the U.S. Capitol, but the Capitol architect wouldn't allow that. So we have the Buckeye here. It's a near replica. I think he's holding a phonograph in ours and just holding a light bulb at the one in Washington. They weren't allowed to be the same. We have 3 statues to Edison in Milan. We have him as a young boy with his mother. We have him in front of the town hall holding the phonograph and light bulb. And then we have him represented on his last trip here in 1923 out in front of the Edison birthplace on a bench.
Oh, people love that one as well because you can sit with him. Who doesn't want to sit with Thomas Edison and be inspired? I have a question for you. Going back to the statue with his mom, a story that I've heard. Is there truth to the history that he was not a very well-behaved student and that teachers just couldn't handle him, and so they sent him home and he ended up being homeschooled? Is that accurate?
Story is, we went to school for 3 months, and the teacher, it wasn't Reverend Ingalls, but it was under Reverend Ingalls. The teacher said to him, "You're stupid and addled and you can't learn." So he went home and told his mother. And she went up, she's a former teacher, and she said, "My son is smart and I will teach him." His wife and daughter, Madeline and Mina, wanted to show the birthplace as an inspiration for young people, that, perseverance and stick-to-itiveness and original thought. The other thing I learned is what a mother's love can do. Her love for her son changed the world. She passes away before he has any successful inventions, and she never sees what he does. But he says, "My mother was the making of me, someone so true, I couldn't let her down." So just the influence that we can have on people is just astounding. It really hurts when I go to some store and I hear somebody berating their children in the next aisle. You just need to give people all the encouragement you can. It's a tough world.
Positive, right? Positive encouragement, and she knew that he was going to be something special someday, and thank goodness, for you, as you said, a mother's love. Well, Edison's birthday is on February 11th, and this year, as part of his birthday, you guys are part of a huge event. It's called Milan Goes to the Movies. Can you tell us what inspired this event and how it ties to celebrating Edison's?
Sure. As you know, this year is the 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States of America. And every state is doing their own celebrations. Ohio is focusing on U.S. Route 250 for the 250th. It goes from Sandusky to the river, so it crosses through urban, crosses through rural, And it goes right through Milan, right through the outskirts. One of the subgroups of Ohio 250 is Ohio Goes to the Movies, and they want to celebrate the beginning of the film industry by having their big kickoff here in Milan at the town hall. That's going to be on February 11th from 2 to 4, and that's a state-sponsored event. And then we're doing a one in the afternoon called Milan Goes to the Movies. That'll be from 7 to 9, and it's a free event. You must reserve tickets. You can get them through our website, tomedison.org. And we'll be showing 3 movies: Edison's Frankenstein, Edison's Alice in Wonderland, and Edison's Jack and the Beanstalk.
Tell me a little bit about those movies. When you say Edison's, did he film them? Did he produce them, edit them? What role did he have in those movies?
They're Edison studio movies. He did not film them, but they all 3 have really interesting special effects that they use. Frankenstein is the first horror movie made, and just watching how the monster is created, its films run in reverse. My wife was watching it the other day. She goes, "That's really scary."
And those films are all going to be shown at the Milan Town Hall on the 11th.
Yes, our public event will be from 7 to 9 p.m. It's open at 6, but it starts at 7 p.m. and it's all free.
It's all free. Okay, so you do need to reserve tickets, but there's no charge. Is anything else going on as part of that evening?
That's plenty.
Will there be snacks? Will there be
Yes, we will
photo
be
opportunities, that kind of thing?
We'll be having food and popcorn.
You can't watch movies without popcorn.
Of course not.
I think this event will really help people understand that role, that you kind of alluded to earlier, that the entertainment industry wouldn't exist without Thomas Edison and his ingenuity. Do you think that Edison would be, I don't know, surprised or proud of the way the industry has evolved? If he were around today, what do you think?
That's a tough one. Well, as you know, he was virtually deaf. He said, "I haven't heard a bird sing since I was 12." I do have a clip where he's interviewed, and it's like 1927, and they say, "What do you think of the talkies?" And he goes, "I haven't heard them." Pretty ironic, the guy to record and playback sound can't hear it. His piano at his home in New Jersey has bite marks because he would have to bite into the piano to have the bone conduction so he could hear the sounds.
Interesting. Well, I love that this event kind of combines entertainment with education, right? It's a great blend of you will be entertained, but also tying into Edison's legacy and, as you keep saying, the stick-to-itness, the ingenuity, the fact that great things can come from a young boy from Milan, Ohio. So if folks are interested in visiting the Edison birthplace, what kind of things should they plan for? When are you open? What can they do when they visit?
We will be open for his his birthday. We'll be giving free tours. It's not a full tour, it's more of a walkthrough.
Okay.
For full tours, we'll be opening in March, and I forgot the exact day. I think it's March 5th.
Okay. Well, that's not far off.
No, full tours planned for an hour. It's about at least 15 minutes in the office. We give phonograph demonstrations from cylinders to record platters. And people are always surprised at the sound quality and how loud they are. And then it's about a 45-minute tour of the home itself. And we end up in the kitchen showing a lot of what life was like before Edison. I mean, you don't have a range, you don't have a refrigerator, you don't have freezers, you don't have lights. As we know it, you have candles and wax oil lanterns. You have to make your own bread. You made a lot on your own. One thing we like to stress is the environment he grows up in. He has such a busy thing going on with the canal right below his house. Milan was the second largest wheat shipping port in the world the year he's born, second only to Odessa, Ukraine. Milan was going to be as big as Chicago at one point, but the railroads changed all that.
And that was all going on right in his very own backyard.
Right in his backyard.
And we have talked to down the street, the Milan Museum. So we've heard previously a little bit about that history, but you can learn more about the canal and shipbuilding and other things that took place in Milan, both before and after Edison, right down the street there. So that makes a good combo to anybody that's coming to visit.
By the way, we are dependent a lot on donations and corporate support. We don't get federal or state tax monies. But I would like to thank the Shores and Islands. They really helped us with the Dongafell Education Center. It was a $100,000 project, and they did matching funds for us for $50,000. That was huge. We couldn't have done it without Shores and Islands. And this last year, they helped us with new fencing and new signage, and just thank you to Shores and Islands.
Oh, of course. I mean, it's such an important location, and that project, the Donkefell Center, has been wonderful as well. I'm sure that adds to folks visiting the museum. Robert, you serve as president of the Edison Birthplace Association, but I also mentioned in your bio your family connection. Remind us again how you're related to Thomas Edison, and how does that influence you and your role with the museum?
Well, his oldest sister, Marion, was 18 years older than him, and that was his favorite sister, and he names his first daughter after her. She's my great great grandmother, and we live in her house and on her farm. A number of the pieces from the Edison birthplace come from our house. The horsehair furniture, anything that was left with his mother, her sterling silver, her bedspread, the cradle bench, these were all left in Milan. I'm the third president of the board of trustees. It started with his daughter, Madeline, who started the museum, then her son, John Sloan, and then I was asked to take over to bring it more. They both lived in New Jersey, but to bring it home to Milan, I was asked to take over.
I just saw, and in fact, I think it came out today, a press release about a strategic partnership with the Jeffress Family Foundation. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
I would love to talk about that. Jeffress Family Foundation is out of Wisconsin, and they serve 7 states, and they help restore and protect American homes that have national significance. They are working with the Hayes Home and Spiegel Grove. They're doing a $2.1 million renovation, and Jeffress is paying for 1/3 of that. We're in the middle of doing a $50,000 study on the Edison birthplace. This is to look at historic plasters, historic paints, and to try to take it back to what it looked like as best we can in 1854. For example, there was a fire at one point and they moved a chimney. It's now on the outside. It didn't used to be. We don't use this chimney anymore. We'll probably remove it. Over the years, the repair on the mortar was done incorrectly, and removing all the bad mortars and cements and replacing them with historically correct materials. So our report will be done by the end of March, and then we'll know what we're looking at as far as monies we need to raise. I would like to also mention we are the first and only Edison site that has gone solar. Our office building is run on solar. We had 4 companies that came together: Solar Edge, Meyerberger, Unirac, and NREP, that's National Renewable Energy Partners. And all 4 of them contributed to give us free solar power. The birthplace itself is not on solar, but our office and Dongafell Education Center are.
Interesting.
Edison brought people together to solve problems. For his invention factory, we have 4 companies that came together to help us cut our electric bill and serve as a model of integrating solar with historic structures.
That is really fascinating. I mean, especially considering Edison's ties to light and the light bulb and electricity, that he would have loved that. I think he would have loved the birthplace doing something so innovative, and it's such a great way of doing that.
Big on solar, he didn't have the technology. He said once, we are like tenant farmers chopping down the fence around us for fuel. We should be using nature's inexhaustible sources of energy: sun, wind, and tide. And then he finishes with, I hope we don't run out of oil and gas before we decide to tackle that.
He was ahead of his time, wasn't he?
Very much so. I think you'd be very proud of the fact that we have taken his birthplace home in Solar.
Yeah, I think so too. So as we're celebrating this year, America's 250th birthday, I really feel that Thomas Edison's story fits right in. How do you feel that it fits into, the national conversation? What is Thomas Edison's legacy as far as the building of our country?
Oh boy, I don't have the numbers in front of me. The amount he contributes, or Edison Industries have contributed to the national. I mean, the whole entertainment industry comes from his invention. The electric light distribution and electric distribution are all offshoots of Edison. He comes up with the power grid. They just end up putting AC on top of it. But he's just all over the place. It's just amazing. Everywhere you look, there's Edison.
And began right here in Milan, Ohio.
Great things come from humble beginnings.
I love it. So where can people go to learn more about Thomas Edison and about the Birthplace Association and to get more information on the Milan Goes to the Movies event?
Our website, tomedison.org.
And do you have a newsletter as well, Robert?
We do for people who sign up, and it's free, and we don't sell our mailing lists. We don't do anything. We just use it for our newsletters that we put out maybe once every other month.
Yeah, I think you guys do a great job with that. As a regular receiver of those newsletters, I always find interesting. You have an interesting blog, interesting stories, and always tying and telling stories of Thomas Edison and how it reflects in today's society. It's really interesting. So I encourage folks to do that, to sign up for that newsletter, and to follow you on social media to learn about all of these upcoming events. Again, Robert, what is the website?
tomedison.org.
Perfect. Was there anything else that you wanted to share today, Robert?
Sure. We also have, as part of Ohio 250, we have a canal talk coming up April 24th. That'll be from 6 to 7 p.m. at the Milan Library.
Okay.
And May 15th, we are doing another Edison Goes to the Movies with 4 different movies.
Oh, I did not know that. What is that date on that?
May 15th.
Okay.
It'll be 7 to 9 p.m. And that too will be free. That's sponsored by Ohio Goes to the Movies.
Well, that's awesome. I love that. Okay, so keep an eye out for upcoming events and for when the Birthplace it is open for regular tours. They'll be open all summer long. And I believe you only really close down maybe January and February. Is that correct?
We have been starting to shut down the second week in December, which is...
But you have holiday events.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. All right. Well, then go to tomedison.org for all of the details on these upcoming events. And we thank you very much, Robert, for joining us today.
I really appreciate the opportunity. Thank you, Jill. Thank you, Shores and Islands.
Special thanks to Robert Wheeler, president of the Edison Birthplace Association, for joining us today. And a reminder that all of February's episodes are brought to you by the Great Lakes Rockabilly Road Trip coming this August to Port Clinton. You can find the details on Facebook at Great Lakes Rockabilly. As always, thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast, please be sure to like and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts so you don't miss a minute of the action here in Shores and Islands, Ohio. You can find more information, including past episodes, online at shoresandislands.com. We will see you next time on The Shoreline.